So how do you create a brand that truly represents who you are and the products you sell, as well as building a business that you can scale online? That is what this podcast will help you do. My name is Henry Kaminski Jr., and welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast.
Let me just make this statement loud and clear. Jersey's here, Jersey's here.
What is going on, everybody? Today's guest is all about helping you command your presence online. I know a lot of you folks out there since COVID are transitioning into how do I create a stronger brand presence or business presence online? Well, man, do I have the guy for you. Without further ado, I want to introduce my man, Dom Faussette from Think React Lead. What is going on, my dude?
Dude, how you doing? It's been a minute, bro. And I just want to start by saying thank you for taking my call. 4 years ago now? Yeah.
God, it's been that long.
Yeah, bro. It's been a minute.
Jesus. Yeah, it had to been because Dante's 3. And we were working together. Probably, yeah, you're right. Oh my God, look how time flies
quickly.
Woof.
Very fast. I've been blessed.
Listen, I want to get straight into it. Let's give them a quick little backstory on where you were at, and because there's quite a few people that don't know who Dom Faussette is, and I want to introduce the world to them again in case they don't know. Right. So give them a little bit of the backstory, and then we could talk about Command Presence Live, and we'll get into all this good stuff. I'm excited.
Perfect. So again, I am executive coach, leadership speaker, Dom Faussette, also radio show host, as you can see in the title here. I'm an ex-cop, prior military, spent 15 years in the corporate space, leadership development. And one day, like many of us may have done or not, but at work, I was on this platform called Instagram. And there was a video that popped up and it says something about funnels. And I'm like, wow, I love funnel cake. Like had zero plans on being an entrepreneur. Didn't even know, I had a good job. My garage looked nice from the things and vacations were great. I was married, happy. But I clicked on this link and I'm like, I don't see any funnel cakes. Cause it was around lunchtime and I'm going in and going, I'm like, okay, this dude's he's talking about branding. And I'm at the time, not a texter. So I just called. Hey, I saw your messages, some of your stuff about branding. What do you do? And I had already been coaching a little bit. And we had maybe like a 45-minute call. Mm-hmm. And long story short, fast forward, right? No social media, no videos, no Fox, CBS, or NBC, no high-end executive clients. Just a dude at a career. And then a year after I talked to you, Henry, the book launched, became a best-selling author, had a podcast. My brand was solid on social media. And it got to the point where my boss came to me and he said, Dom, there's really no point in you working here. Like you got to go. Like you're too big for this company. We need you to go. And I left. I had already thought about it. It wasn't just okay, I'll go. No, I had a plan. And man, it has been a very fast-paced, dialed-in command presence approach to becoming, the brand that I am today, Dom Faussette with Think React Lead. Man, so thank you, sir.
I watching you go from practically no online presence to where you're at today has just been outstanding. I tell all my clients, this is one person you got to look out for because this is a walking example of application. Mm-hmm. And just one step after another, I will succeed. I will make this happen. I will figure this out. And that is your story in a nutshell. So I know you have a live event coming October 6th. I'll be flying out to speak at that. Listen, I had to have you on the show. I mean, here's a guy that invites me to go on to come to his event and speak. I was like, how can I help this guy get more attention to this event? And that's why you're here today. But I want you to really define how you create, where did this the Command Presence brand come from? Because yes, your business is called Think React Lead, but
correct.
I hear you online a lot talking about Command Presence. So I wanted to sort of get the backstory on that.
Yeah. As a cop, some cops do this. You serve warrants, right? It sounds pretty cool. But Intel gives you insight or information on a home. And you go and serve the warrant. And they might say, hey, there's two people inside, 2 occupants. You should be fine. Serve the warrant. You're good. Well, when you kick in a door and the 2 people go from 2 to 4 or 5, you don't have the luxury of pressing pause because this is not a video game. You don't have the luxury of saying, all right, gents, I'll be right back. You know, if you guys can just leave all the paraphernalia there and just, I'm gonna come back with my team. No, you have to, the moment you kick in the door, you make eye contact with the people that you need to take down or affect and arrest for. Command Presence. Command Presence is that thing that allows you to become the obvious choice the moment that you walk into the room. And in this instance, right, most of us, this is a life and death situation, but none of my clients have life and death situations outside of one. You know, most people don't. But we put so much on it and anxiety kicks in, whether you're speaking on stage or you got to make that sales call or somebody asks you what your price is. And because you're so humble and you lack command presence, you give them a price so low that now you're spinning your wheels to maintain a client for 90 days. Why? You don't have command presence. So command presence, taking it outside of the pew pew game. So getting dialed in and taking targets out, but like bringing it to a space where it's applicable. It's I tried to buy the name, but I couldn't. Somebody has it. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to hashtag the heck out of this. Be a stronger presence and brand online. So now when people think command presence, they think Dom Faussette.
Boom. It's sort of very similar approach to how I got the brand doctor name. There's this guy, he's like 110 years old in the UK that's the brand doctor. And he hasn't done anything with the name in ages. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run with it and see how far I can go with it.
Guys, a 65-year-old ex-cop. I'm like, bro. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to hashtag the heck out of it and talk about it. But I live it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And
that's the big difference.
When it comes to, you mentioned the event, the Command Presence Live. The purpose of me putting this event together was to bring people in my life that have helped me go from making $0 to I'm not hurting at this point in my life. That if I could get them all into one room on one stage and disseminate the same information they've provided me over the last 3 to 4 years, that in one day, anybody sitting in that audience, if they take the information and just at a minimal implement it, I can't guarantee anything, but they will make money. I mean, I did. So that when I think about command presence, like doing a live event when nobody's doing live events, that's command presence. Right? Not having anxiety when you have to deliver a sales call or fire an employee or have a difficult conversation with your teenager or your spouse. That's command presence. But when you live it and it's leadership, it starts from the inside of the house on its way out and getting comfortable with who you are. Many of you guys know you should be doing videos, not you, Henry, but many of you should know you should be doing videos. I can tell you right now, if it wasn't for videos, I wouldn't have the clients that I have. I wouldn't be speaking as much. I wouldn't have a very large radio show. We just built a media company for television shows. I would not have the Rolodex that I have. And I tell people all the time that you forget about being authentic. Like command presence brings that out of you. But if you don't get dialed in on your message, and Henry, you talk about this a lot, get dialed in on your message, your purpose, and what it is that you're meant to do, those days where you have to embrace the suck because things just are a little squirrely, they're going to take full advantage of you, as opposed to the opposite. You know what? Yeah, there's days that I'm an ex-hot prior military, so PTSD is like a thing. But when I wake up, I just say, Dom Faussette, let's get some. Embrace the suck. And I get up and I go. I did that at 3:45 this morning. Happy as a lark.
Your energy is contagious, my friend. Like, it's one of those things that I feel you have to have, but not necessarily. You could find it from within. You know what I mean? I know how excited you get when you want to help, like, because you're a giver, you're a helper. That's one thing I learned about you way back when. is like you want to help, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my question is, what do you say? How do you develop this muscle? Okay. Because I know you've been doing it for 4 years now. So it's coming very natural to you. You know, you have all the tricks, you have all the tools, you know, you look phenomenal online. What about the people that are just got laid off? They're going to transition into consulting and they have zero brand presence online. Maybe they don't even have a brand yet. And they're looking to start. Where do they start?
Well, first of all, you got laid off. Congratulations. That's the world's way of telling you to do something for yourself. So where do you start? You stop chasing the dollar. I will tell you that right now. I emptied my 401k to get this ball rolling. Why? Because if I have it, I mean, I've seen people breathe their last breath. One day that might be me. Who's to say I'm going to be able to use it 20, 30 years down the road? I'm going to use it now. So if people, I have clients who say, I don't have the money, but you have 900 grand in your 401k, you have the money, you don't find yourself important. So think about all of the things that you can do for free. A video on all social media platforms is free. Writing a book sucks, but it's free. Posting every single day. Let me lean in on this one. Let me explain something to anybody watching this. Yeah, you got laid off. Life sucks. You know, feces hit the oscillating rotor. Things just aren't going the way you anticipated them to go. Well, when you really start doing videos, you might not know your purpose. You might not even know your messaging. You do a video a day and you got to pick your number. My number was 1,000. I wanted to get 1,000 posts on Instagram. So what did I do? I posted 3 times a day, every day for a year, Monday through Sunday. Now it's at a point where it takes less than in 2 minutes, I can take an unedited picture, edit it, do his thing, and be up on Instagram with hashtags and a commentary afterward. Then it starts with whoever you want to be on social media. Don't YouTube the people that are doing what you want to do, because then you'll start emulating them. Don't YouTube anybody. Start doing videos. Your message is inside of you. And we'll talk about this at Command Presence Live, which is an in-person event. And it's also a live stream, and tickets are there. I'll provide the link later. But the person you want to be on social media, or that you're conveying yourself to be, you need to be that person with your spouse. You need to be that person with the grocery store clerk. You need to be that person with the person at the restaurant that messes up your order. So when you start becoming the same person inside and out, then people start to know who you are. And you'll get dialed in so hardcore that one day you'll wake up and then you'll just be getting coffee and somebody will walk up to you and say, hey, are you Dom Faussette, executive coach and leadership speaker with Think React Lead? I'm like, yeah. Who are you? Oh, I've been following you for years. I have business relationships with people today because they've seen what I've accomplished. Not even accomplished. They've seen my consistency over the last 3 years. And there's people out there. The people that will pay you are not the people that like your comments or that like your posts. This is what I've learned for myself. I've had clients that have followed me for a long time, and I'm like I'm in my social media, so I know who's there. And I'm like, well, yeah, why haven't you liked anything? Well, my clients are executives. My clients are busy. They don't have time to be on social media like that, which is great for me. So understand that people pay for consistency. Your consistency is what is going to get you to command presence, because people say this, well, I don't have time. Or they say social media sucks. You know who doesn't have time is the parent that's laying on the hospital floor next to their child's bed, knowing their child's not going to be alive 17 days from today. They don't have time to post. You have time to post. You have time to watch TV. If you have time to say you don't have time, you have time to post. Because when you're hurting and you're going through depression and you're going through things and somebody in your life might not make it, they don't ever say to themselves, I don't have time. What do they say? I wish I had more time. So allow
that person.
You go ahead.
Yeah. No. Allow you what? Go ahead. Finish that thought. Allow the you to push every single evening before you go to bed. When you close the books on your desk, or you wrap up and your mind starts to go into, all right, I'm done. Say out loud,
First name, last name. What more can I do? You want to build command presence and some grit about yourself? Ask yourself, what more can I do? Shut up. Don't answer the question. Your intuition will answer the question. And whatever the answer that you receive, you do. Sometimes I've asked myself, what more can I do? And it'll be, I'm in Arizona, 108 degrees outside. The first thought is go run 4 miles. Yeah, I'm like, can I get thought number 2, please? Because it's hot. But you know what I do? I go run 4 miles. And I showed in my Instagram story, I've done podcasts while I'm running. And that brings me to another point. Command presence. All of you should have podcasts. Anchor.com is free. Do a 10-minute podcast every single day. Don't do it to interview people. The purpose of a podcast, if you're just getting started, is so that you can hear what you know. Everybody thinks they know everything until it's time to speak.
That's interesting. We got a question that I think is really good from Priyanka. He says, what if someone is not comfortable in front of the camera? How do you overcome that?
You get in front of the camera. Like, what if somebody can't do 10 pull-ups on a pull-up bar? You do 1 pull-up every day until you can do 2, until you can do 3. Yeah. Uncomfortable. Like, that tells me that you're not doing enough in your life. If you're uncomfortable standing in an air-conditioned household or office in front of a piece of equipment that no developing person in a developing country can own because of the cost, in conjunction with attaching it to your computer to go live or to do whatever, but you've been blessed with some things. Mm-hmm. Actually, you know what? That brings me to this. I'm going to share this with you real fast. I did a post the other day. And it said this: you're not even ready to receive what you've been praying for. Consider how irresponsible you are with what you've been blessed with.
These are deep.
Let that sink in. Not you, Henry, but the people watching. Let that sink in. You can't stand in front of I'm uncomfortable. Suck it up. Some of you guys and gals that are uncomfortable in front of the camera have kids. So you take your kids to these athletic events, or you push them in school, get straight A's, make the touchdown. Yeah, you can't even kick a minimal field goal in your personal life. You're getting D's and F's in your development. Can't get in front of a camera. I stutter. I get in front of a camera at home, on my radio show, on Fox, CBS, NBC. Why? Because when my passion kicks in, all that anxiety goes out the window. I know my message. You don't have the luxury of not getting in front of the camera. So whoever's watching this, there is a young man or a young woman. So the version of you from when you were a kid and life kicks you in the teeth, that's waiting for you to get some goal about yourself. So a little command presence, and do your first video, do your first podcast. Like when I had a guy who also stutters, a kid. I invited him to my radio show. He reached out to me on DM, and he stutters like worse than I do. He started a podcast. His confidence got bigger and bigger. And then recently I saw a picture. He just joined the Navy. I'm like, wow, like this kid had no confidence. And one of my videos he saw, and that was it. So if you're comfortable in front of the camera, then you just don't want it bad enough. You're selfish, and you don't want to help others out. You want to keep all your intellect and your insight. You want to keep that all in here and die like everybody else does and end up with all that knowledge in a graveyard.
Yeah. See, life's too short. That's what I always say, And I was telling one of my clients before you, I said, if anything could go wrong today, it's gone wrong. And it's only 2:00 in the afternoon over here today. Right?
It's still early.
It's still early. And I'm laughing because, honestly, like everything I touched today went to shit. Mm-hmm. Like I went to book lunch on my phone, and like the internet didn't work. Like I'm like I don't even know what else to do. Right. Do I curl up in a ball and go back to bed? I said, no, we're gonna push through this. It's just whatever energy is out there today is just out there, and we're gonna walk through it. And that's been my mentality. And this is something that I was thinking about once I was able to book lunch and I drove home with it. I said, my worst day is probably someone's best day.
Oh, 100%.
And that just made me think, like, bro, you don't have anything to complain about. Yeah, it's an off day. Everybody has them. Just muscle through it. You got work to do. You got Dom coming up. You got to help your client with his website. Like, you got work to do, son. So get to work, right? And here we are, and things are coming around and things are good, but you can't just give up, or you can't just give in to that fear. Listen, there's people that are going to say shit about you regardless. So you might as well say it anyway. And I live my life by that. I really do. And so,
go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was done with my thought.
A lot of people have that fear. What if? And out of all of my time on social media, I've had one person razz me in one comment. And it was because I was doing a video and I didn't have a seatbelt on. And I'm just like, all the videos that I've done, one. And let me explain to people why you're uncomfortable. It's a great place to be because you're stretching yourself. You're trying to bridge the gap between your mind and your heart. And I have one of the speakers is coming on. He talks about that, like 27 companies deep, but he talks about this, but bridging the gap between your mind and your heart. So creating the future version of yourself in the moment. And people get uncomfortable doing videos because the people that they're surrounded by, that they surround themselves with, those people like the person that they were years ago. And these people, your group, only see you as this junior version of self. You have these dreams and thoughts about becoming better, but because you lack the command presence that you need, you don't know how to shake that group, that crew. Could be family, it could be a spouse, it could be, a kid that's too old to be living in your house, right? So once you start engaging who you're supposed to be, those people will either stick with you or go away. But what happens is new people start to come into your life, and nobody's going to tease you. Like, I stay away from politics, sports, and religion. Why? Because they don't put money in my pocket. Most of the stuff I talk about is principle. Principle. Nobody questions principle. They question opinions, not principle. So when you just think about what principles you're guided by and talk about those things, like think, react, lead, is think as an executive, react like a soldier, and lead. My messaging outside of speaker coaching and some social media coaching for speakers and coaches stays pretty much in that vein, unless I post a picture of my dog or my son or something like that. But other than that, I'm through and through. And I'm not sorry for the people's feelings that I hurt with what I say, but the things I don't curse, and the things that I say are things that need to be done. They're just reminders. And then in my DMs, I get, thank you, Dom. I'm glad you had the, as I said, balls to say this.
Yeah. It's funny because I don't know if you saw it online, but on Sunday, my wife threw me a huge 40th party in our backyard.
Yo, was your birthday?
Well, it was Thursday, but we celebrated.
Brother, I didn't even know. My bad.
Thank you. But on Sunday, we celebrated it with friends and family. And when we were getting to the cake part, they were like, speech. And this was the one day I don't know. I didn't feel like talking. I just really didn't feel like talking, but I had to say something, right? And I said, dude, I've been here for 40 years. I messed up a lot. I did a lot of stupid shit, learned from those mistakes and moved on. But one of the things that I realized was you got to design the life that you want to live, not the life that somebody else wants you to live.
Right.
And I think you do that in such a tasteful and just thoughtful way and a unique way. Not everybody is going to digest Dom Faussette the same way I do, right? Or the same way the next person does. And the same here. But I'll be damned if I live the next 40 years of my life the same way I lived my first 40. It's just not in the cards for me. And some people may fall off. And that's not my problem. It's really not my problem. So I want to ask you a deep question. Okay. And it's up to you if you want to answer it.
I'm going to answer it.
All right. my question is, where did this come from? Like, everybody wants to know, where did this bravery and this confidence come from for you to get out online and speak your mind and speak your heart? Because I know that's going to help other people watching and listening to this break through those shackles that they are self-imposing on themselves right now, because they're just afraid to speak their mind online because they're afraid of a repercussion. They're afraid to get social media slapped, if you will, by audience.
I would say it came from one of three places. As a police officer, fortunate or unfortunate, I've had the pleasure of standing over a person as they breathe their last breath. And it's hard to describe what the sinking of a soul looks like as a person, like in their eyes. You literally see them here, and then you literally see their soul just fade back into the concrete, the dirt, the wall, whatever their back of their head is on. And when you see that, it's like this out-of-body experience. And that imagery stays in your head for a long time. But I thought to myself, one day, my soul is going to fade to the back of my skull. What do I want to accomplish between now, the thought, and the time that I breathe my last breath? That's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it, dealing with PTSD and things like that, I remember I was seeing a shrink, and I only saw him. I saw him once. I went to go see him, and he just kind of was going to his paperwork. He comes in, old doctor, like one of the old ones. He actually retired a couple weeks later. But he said, so let me get this straight. You work 50, 60 hours a week, and you go home and you have a speaking business, and you're currently getting paid to speak, and you do social media, and you're at the time doing a podcast, and you have coaching clients, and you seem to be in shape. You still work out, and you have your wife works here, so you guys have a good relationship, and you're a parent. He said, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never met anybody as young, again, he said young, but as young as you are, that has the mental and emotional capacity to do everything you're doing at the level in which you're doing it. And I took that and I thought about it. I'm like, wow, like I'm a bad dude. Like I knew I was prior. And I'm not saying that in jests, but I'm saying it in looking at everything I went through from my childhood till now and all the negative experiences. Though I earned my stripes, they created resilience within me, which now I call command presence. And when you bridge the gap between your mind and your heart, and you are through and through so true to self that people can feel the truth in you the moment you walk into the room, that's when you know you're living your purpose. And it just, I've had people say, Dom, what you do like bleeds out of you. I had a client recently, last year's sales, he hit 970 grand, give or take. I've known him since first grade. We haven't talked since then, but he hits me up on social media. He says, Dom, I want to know more about your coaching. I started talking. He said, let's just do this. Like I know what you're about based off where we came from and where we grew up to where you're at now. Long story short, him and his wife were on their way out. They're together. He told me the other day he got an 11% raise. And I don't know numbers well, but I know it's over $1 million, right? And they're building their dream home. Like so for somebody that's known me since first grade, decades later, and say, Dom, you were the same person then, a little knucklehead, but who you are today, like I feel the growth. I don't just see it. And when you can wake up knowing, like Henry, that what you do changes people's lives, changes their business, change mine. I know that there's people out there that are on the fence, like, I don't want to do anything anymore. You may not be suicidal, but you're just like, I'm comfortable. I don't want to be with my wife, but I don't know how to tell her. I don't like my kids. I don't know how to tell them. I don't even want to promote. Like when you're in life and you get to a space and you're working, you're like, I don't want to promote, or I don't want more clients, or what I'm doing is a headache. It's a hassle. Like, let me help you with that. Or come to Command Presence Live. And like I said, we'll do the link later. But if you are ready for change, we can make that happen.
What is the link? I want to put it up on the screen here.
What's
the URL?
Here, I'm going to put it right here. Boom. Here we are. I'll put it in the chat. There it is. And I'll send it to you.
All right, let me see. Boom. All right, let me get this.
And you know what? If anybody's on the fence on whether or not they want to be in person, just call me. Text me, 602-481-0650. Text me or DM me on whatever platform, Instagram. And if you have questions about it, just like, I'm a regular dude. Forget about the social media following and all the stuff. Like, I'm just regular. I like riding motorcycles. I like riding skateboards with my son. And I love donuts. So obviously we talked about that. No cop jokes, but I do like donuts.
Well, there it is. It's for those folks that are going to be hearing this on Spotify and iTunes. It's commandpresencelive.com/get your tickets.
Correct.
And you're keeping this very intimate from what I gather.
I have to because of the COVID situation. So we do have a big space to put people in, but because of the spacing, and then my respect for people that have fear about this, I'm taking that into concern. So it's not going to be hundreds of people. I will say that.
Yeah. I remember you saying something along the lines of it's going to be tight. It's going to be 33 people. They can bring a guest if they do, right? So like max 66 people, which isn't a lot of people. And you got some other speakers there besides me.
Oh yeah. Yes. Like I got some, like if you want to know how to get your brand on television, like the media, not just social media, I have somebody for that. I have somebody who is he's like a business scientist, like the dude, and the way his brain works, his name, Jason Cisneros. He's just a heavy hitter, but he and I get along extremely well. And I've seen him take people, nothing business, mom and pop shop to astronomical numbers. There's another guy who's a philanthropist. He's a designer of suits, but he does some amazing international work. You want to take I learned more about global business from him in less than 9 months. And then there's one of my clients, which I was going to be so happy to see, but he's an active duty naval officer. His name's Lieutenant Anthony Waite. He'll be there speaking, talking about mindset and leadership more importantly. And then I have a couple others. I just got off the phone the other day, and it's not confirmed, but there's a major company, and she's a global executive for this tech company. Most of you use this company when you search something in your computer. And I've known her for 3 years. And she said, Dom, I would love to come. I'll let you know if I can be there. And then I have a couple others. But if you can't grow your business after this conference, you're not putting in the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, you drop so many key concepts that you guys hear me talking about ad nauseum, but I love your approach, and I love how you just get after it. And listen, it's all about the action, right? Mm-hmm. And Dom, you are such a like I said before, you're a practitioner.
Right.
You're going to get out there. You're going to try stuff. It's going to suck. You're going to get up and you're going to do it again.
Yep.
Right. Like now, guys, I'm not afraid to say it. Like Dom gets more engagement on his stuff than I do on mine. Right. Because he's so consistent. I think that if there's one big thing that I want you to take away from what Dom said today is you gotta be consistent, because people will buy consistency. Why? Because it builds confidence.
It does.
And if you want to command your presence online, consistency plus confidence equals conversion.
Sure does, man. Isn't that truth?
So, guys, again, if you're interested in this event, it's going to be tight. We're less than a month out. Mm-hmm. So if you want, I'm going to throw this banner up here again one more time. For those folks that are listening, it's commandpresencelive.com/get your tickets. Go check it out. It's got more information there. And, Dom's not the guy that's going to beat you over the head for a ticket. I find the price point to be extremely reasonable, and the amount of value that you're going to get out of this program and the people that you're going to meet and interact with, forget it.
That's the thing right there. That's why I tell people, like, yes, we have the virtual thing. It's $100, but and I'm doing basically, if you buy one, you can bring a guest. That's really for you and your spouse to come, or you and your business partner to come. But there's something to be said about being in the room with people that are more successful than you. When I say more successful, success is not monetary, it's a feeling, but the monetary aspect of it definitely feels great. And if you can be in the room with these people, you never know the relationships that you'll build with these individuals.
Yeah. I always say, people come to me all the time and they want to make more money online, and they want to become something greater than what they are right now. And then I look at who their circle is, and they're hanging out with all these broke people that are cheating on their wives and husbands and all this. And I'm saying, if you want to make more money, why are you hanging out with broke people?
Broke mindset, broke souls, broke feelings, broke individuals. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm trying to surround myself, and I've been surrounding myself with people with higher frequencies than me. People that are doing better than me.
Isn't that weird? 10 years ago, you and I would have never used words like frequencies in relation to like the subconscious aspect. But when we grow, like, it just makes sense. Right.
David Meltzer, he talks about that a lot, like frequency and energy levels and things like that. Like, when you vibrate at a higher frequency, you're more attractive.
You are.
And we're getting into like law of attraction and like physics and stuff, metaphysics and stuff. But like, that stuff fascinates me. It's scary too. Like, I'm not going to lie. Right. But it's extremely fascinating. And like that, I believe, in my heart of hearts, is what has gotten me to the level of business and life personally that I'm at right now, is not being afraid to get around people that are better than me. And I'm happy that there's other speakers out there that are doing better than me at this event, because I want to learn from them. That's why I'm flying halfway across the freaking country to come out. Obviously, I'll do anything for you. And it was an honor when you asked me to speak. And I was like, man, this is going to be so cool. I'm going to put it out there. This was pretty much my first speaking gig. Oh, no, second. My second speaking gig ever.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My second speaking gig ever. So, it's going to be a special one for me. And because you're part of it. And I just can't wait to learn and to help as many people as I can during that event. So I am going to bring it.
Of course. I already know.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So real quick, one more time, it is commandpresencelive.com/get your tickets.
Correct.
Go check it out right now. Dom, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show and just sharing that energy and pushing people through their comfort zone.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate you.
And helping them, because I know there's a lot of people that are going to listen to this and be like, oh man, that one stung a little bit, but it's what I needed at this point in my life.
If the words that come out of my mouth get under your skin, it just means that the skin that you're currently operating in isn't yours.
Boom. Man. Dom, where can people find you online?
You can find me on my website, domfaussette.com. Instagram is one of my favorite places, Dom Faussette as well. Or heck, you can just shoot me a text, 602-481-0650.
My man. Thank you so much for coming on the show, dude. Appreciate you so much.
I appreciate that. Likewise, brother.
There you have it, guys. Now go book your ticket before they are sold out. commandpresencelive.com/get your tickets. Have an amazing day, guys, and I will catch you on the next episode real soon. Take care. Hey everyone, this is Henry Kaminski Jr. again, and really quick, I want to invite you to a one-on-one consult with me right now if you're looking for the clarity and focus you need to build your brand.
Over the past 13 years, I've served hundreds of entrepreneurs that have great products but struggled tremendously with articulating its value to their ideal customers. You didn't get into business to just change a few lives, did you? Your ideal clients need you. And when your brand has precision-crafted messaging coupled with beautifully thoughtful design that sounds, looks, and feels like you, they'll know you're the perfect match for them. If this is something you're struggling with, what I want you to do right now is pause this audio and go visit www.uniquedesigns with a Z at the end, not an S, .net, and book your one-on-one console call with me. Remember, the quality of your brand will determine the quality of your clients, and the quality of your clients will determine the quality of your life.